The various types of defects have been explained in a previous video. In this video we will focus on the physical defects. So in terms of an outline of what I will be discussing in this video, I'll talk about the mechanisms that are associated with physical defects on concrete elements, and I'll talk about the forms of the defects, and then we'll have a look at some weathering impacts that create these defects, and then we'll classify the cracks in concrete members that would be associated with physical defects. So remember, the general classification system is based on whether the defect is caused because of a physical consideration or whether it's chemical related, structural or construction. The video, as I said, focuses on physical. That's the first classification type. The mechanism, it's based on several mechanisms. So number one, you get your thermal movements that can create defects. Usually if you're in cold climates, then you have the issue of the freezing and thawing actions or cycles that take place. There's also the issue of shrinkage, and finally you have abrasion and weathering. In terms of the forms of these physical defects, you can visually see that on a concrete member in terms of scaling that takes place, cracks or discoloring of the concrete member. So some weathering impacts that lead to physical defects, natural forces such as rain, they can cause differential coloring or maybe discoloring in your concrete members. You can also notice some mold that grows on your concrete member, and hence it creates this staining pattern on your walls, and you can notice that in a lot of concrete buildings. Some of the cracks that are associated with physical defects, you can see three of them. These were cracks that we talked about in a previous video. So you have plastic cracking. You can tell that it's plastic cracking by looking at the pattern. So if it's diagonal or if it's above the reinforcement, then it is plastic cracking. If it's drying cracking, then you're going to get a transverse pattern. Likewise with thermal cracking, it's a transverse pattern. So I do hope that this video helped your understanding in terms of physical defects that concrete elements experience.